Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my 1998 Buick Regal GS. This car is rough around the edges, but I usually like cars like this because generally I can enjoy them, daily drive them, not worry about dents or scratches or anything like that. I'm a huge fan of these cars and the supercharged 3800 Series V6. I have owned a Pontiac Grand Prix GTP and also a Bonneville SSEI, both with the same motor. I think the Regal GS is the best out of them. This car just has the sleeper looks. It's much more comfortable than a Grand Prix. I find the seats in the Grand Prix are too stiff. It's not as comfortable to drive on long road trips, that type of thing. And the Bonneville SSEI just kind of has some weird features and I don't like the interior and that type of thing. It's a cool looking car for sure, but I think the Regal GS is just a really classic body style and very, very unassuming. This car is a really cool green, like a forest green being my favorite color, so I do really like this. And the GS has got this two-tone trim. This is actually the second Regal GS I have owned. I had a 99 black Regal GS, and that's where I absolutely fell in love with these cars. These cars can be had relatively inexpensive. I picked this up for $2,000 Canadian, and honestly, it's an incredible buy at that price. The motor in this car is basically bulletproof. The transmission is actually very good as well, as long as you find one that has been maintained, which can be a little bit difficult. Generally, you want to try and find like a one-owner car, of course, you know, that type of thing, and try to find something with some maintenance history. Most important thing on these cars is transmission fluid changes. Very few people do that, and that is the lifeblood of a transmission. These transmissions will last a very long time as long as you maintain the fluid. This car has about 180,000 kilometers on it. I bought it essentially from the first owner. Let's pop the hood here real quick. Nothing special about the interior. There's some cool things about the car that I'll show you on the interior here, but let's take a look at the engine real quick. These cars have a great amount of torque. They're a very fun car to drive, awesome city car, great on the highway. Again, 3800 series V6 is legendary. This is one of the best V6 motors General Motors, Chevrolet, whatever, built. In my opinion, these cars don't take mods very well, even though they're supercharged. You can dump a lot of money into the motor and they don't give you back the same performance. For me, generally, I would have just done cold air intake so you can hear that awesome supercharger whine, and then maybe just do like a pulley, and that's really it. You don't have to go crazy. They're already very powerful cars. They have gobs of torque, and like I say, the transmissions shift well, and as long as the fluid has been changed regularly, you're in good shape. Generally, that's the first thing I'll look on these cars is nice pink transmission fluid. Also, you want to check the coolant in these cars as well. Make sure regular coolant flushes have been done. That's another thing a lot of people don't do on vehicles is actually change the coolant. Coolant becomes acidic after a while, and you don't want to have it just sitting in a car. That's what leads to head gasket failures and that type of thing. So, but again, super sleek car. Tons of visibility. There's a lot of glass in the car, very easy to see out of. Honestly, they don't make cars like this anymore, and I'm hoping people watch this video and maybe consider a Regal GS, because they are really, really neat cars, and I think especially the Regal is underestimated. A lot of people go for like the GTP and that type of obvious performance car, whereas the GS is definitely a lot more subdued and maybe not as well known. So we hop in the interior here really quick. I'll just turn on the accessory here so you can see a couple things. So what's really cool on these cars is these are obviously catered probably to an older demographic. You have nice large fonts on all of the actual digital displays. What's cool on the 98 cars is they actually have a performance shift button here. It's just a neat quirk on these cars. In 99, they actually took the button away and the car was always in performance shift. It's better for the transmission. It basically just makes the shifts firmer and the transmission doesn't slip as much between gears. So I generally always leave that on, but it's just like a cool analog thing that you get in older cars like that. What's also really neat about these cars too is the actual boost. It's a digital boost gauge just here under the RPM, which is really cool. Again, I like the nice large font and that type of thing with these cars. There's a bunch of different options and stuff in here, so you can see all your typical stuff there, which is really neat. So yeah, obviously very comfortable seats. As I said before, lots of visibility out of the windows and that type of thing. A lot of times you can find these cars that are owned by seniors or older people, and generally they're in really good condition. Unfortunately, as you've seen, the rear quarters do tend to rust a little bit. I haven't found them to rust like all the way through. It's generally you'll find them with just some surface rust starting. And like I say, I generally don't care about that kind of stuff. I like to just get a car that much cheaper because it has a little bit of rust and enjoy it, right? Put some money into maybe some maintenance or something like that and just enjoy the car. You can see the Regal GS badge there. The 98 model, my 98 had a Monsoon factory stereo, which is actually really nice. It's a shame this one doesn't have it. This one has a concert sound, whatever that is there, kind of interesting. And then these have Grand Touring suspension as well, so that's kind of, I guess, what the GS stands for. Again, awesome car. Definitely don't overlook these cars. They're really, really cool, and you can find them really cheap because a lot of people don't know the GS, Regal GS. It doesn't look much different than any other Buick car of the era. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a quick video here. There's going to be a lot more car videos on this channel. This channel is about cars in general. Electric cars, gas cars, diesel cars, you name it. I love 80s cars. I love old cars like this. I like cars that are special to me and cars that I've owned in the past. I've owned well over 60 cars. I bought and sold flipped cars, all sorts of stuff. So if you like that kind of thing, if you want just a general automotive enthusiast channel, this is the one to subscribe. Thanks everyone, and I'll catch you next time.